Hey guys, it is Marianne at Thrive with your video today, and we are looking at how you can protect a document in Word using the restrict editing features. Now, I'm working in Microsoft Word on a PC with the desktop version of Word. These features should be available if you're working on a Mac or on the web. However, sometimes the buttons do look a little bit different. So let's talk about why you would want to protect a document. So sometimes the document is going out to people and it's not quite in its finished form, or we're still at that point where we're refining and tweaking the messaging. That's really important because you may be at a stage where you need the content edited but not the formatting, or vice versa. The content may be rock solid and done, but any edits now need to be fixed in the formatting. And what we can do with our protection is limit the options that people have, whether it is sent as an attachment in an email or in a Teams message, or whether it's sent as a link directly to your OneDrive or your SharePoint document library. The goal here is to make sure that all of your hard work hasn't gone to waste. So we're going to jump in and have a look at the options and how you can control what you're sending to people and what they can do. Let's jump in. So the first thing that we need to think about is, where do we find the protection tools so that we can work out what's possible within our document? And it's here in our review section. So working in Microsoft Word on the desktop, on a PC, this one is, but it will work on both versions. And from the top tab, we are working from the review tab, and we have this section here called protect, where we can block authors, but we can also restrict the editing options. And this is where we can tell Word what we want it to do. So I'm going to open this one out a little bit so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. And I'm going to zoom this one in. Oops, maybe just a little bit more, just so that we can see what's happening in the document as well. So there are three options or three steps here. And we can work with formatting restrictions, editing restrictions, and then start enforcing them. So the first option is our formatting restrictions. And what this does is, if we tick this box, it allows us to limit the types of styles or formatting that other people can use in this document. So if I tick this box, you can see this box now is available because I've made a change. If we go to the settings, a pop-up here, this is where we can be very specific. So we can limit our formatting to a selection of styles, and these are based on the styles that are available in this document. You can see it's quite a list. So this is going to pull things about different list numbers, different tables, table styles, all based on your theme, which is all of these ones here. Things like quotes and emphasis. Again, we've got different table types. Our table of contents formatting, all of these things are effectively styles. There's so much more than what you just see in the styles pane. And you can select all of them. You can choose the recommended minimum, you can choose none, and you can manually choose what you want to allow people to have access to. We can also allow our auto format to override these restrictions. So if people type something and there's an auto format tool built in, it will override anything else we've locked down. We can block them from being able to switch between a theme or scheme, which means that they can't then change the colors and pairings for this particular document. We can also block the quick style set. So if you've got different quick styles set up in that for that pane, different options in that pane, you can stop them from being able to switch those out as well. So that's that option. The next one is our editing restrictions, and this means that we can actually stop what type of editing can happen or what type of changes can happen. Rather than it just being about the format and the look, we can actually talk about how they can change the content. And in this instance, we have 4 changes effectively. So we can make it so that at the most restrictive level, there are no changes possible. They can literally only open it up and look at it. Any feedback that they have for you, they would need to communicate to you in another way, whether that's an email or a Teams message. It's going to have to happen outside of Word. We can make it so that it's filling in forms only. Now, this is really handy if you've created a checklist or an onboarding form and you're sending it out to someone and you don't want them to change the questions, the headers, the footers, the layout, the style. This means that when you use our developer tab and you've added some of these tools, so checkboxes, drop downs, and text fields, it means that they would only be able to use those and they won't be able to actually select anything outside of that. If they were to hit the tab button, it will move them from form element to form element. So from text box to checkbox to drop down, etc. Almost like moving through question to question. They're not going to be able to change anything else. The next option on our list is comments. This allows them to only add a comment to the text rather than editing the text itself. So they can't actually make the changes like a tracked changes option. It means that what would happen is you'll have that little bubble appear on the side and they'll only be able to put a comment in saying, I don't think this paragraph is correct. Is this title, I think the title should be this. Please replace with this. And you can then go through and manually accept or insert any of those comments into the document. It means they're not actually editing the content. And the last one is our track changes. So this means that anyone else who touches the document will only be able to edit things showing track changes so that you'll be able to see the edits they have made. Again, this is a great way if you're wanting to see why or where someone's made a change. And that can be really tricky sometimes because sometimes people change a word or two or a sentence, not a whole paragraph. They don't remove or add a whole section. They just edit the text in there, and that can sometimes change the intent of your document. And then when we want to start enforcing our protection, you have the option, once you've set up exactly what you want, we have the option of setting a password. Now, if you're going to set a password and you need other people to be able to override it and use it as you do, other super admins of this document, make sure that when you share this password with them, you don't do it with the link to the document. Do it separately. That's a best practice for any kind of password sharing. Heads up. You also want to make sure that it is a password that you will remember. So whether you need to record it somewhere or whether you have a password that you can simply remember because you might use a particular formula to create that. So you might use a naming convention for your passwords. It might be something to do with the name of the document, the project, whatever it might be, the year, the month, all those sorts of things, the version it is, your name, whatever that blend of things is, I would always recommend that you have some sort of naming convention, but that it's not so obvious that someone would be able to guess it at some point in the future. Once you force that protection and send it off, what it means is that when the other person gets it and opens it, if they attempt to start making edits, it will ask them for the password. If you haven't given them the password, they will not be able to work in it. Now, that's the same. That goes for when you attach it to an email and send it, or when you share the file link and they go back to your direct point of truth in your OneDrive or SharePoint document library. So you can edit or limit the formatting options, limit the editing options, and you can make that a global choice, or you can put a password on it so that people can override that protection. So there you have it. The ways that you can manage and control your document as the admin or super user so that you can share it with confidence, not stressing about someone being able to edit or change it and ruin the intention and all of your hard work. Get in there and have a go. If you've got any questions about anything that you've seen in this video, pop it as a comment below or get in touch with me directly. You will find me hanging out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok under Thrive Admin Services. I'm always happy to answer any questions there as well. If you did find this video useful, then remember to like and subscribe to be updated when I add new content so that you can stay up to date with everything that's going on inside Microsoft 365, not just Word. And don't forget to check out the description for this video for any other links and tips on ways I can help you. If you know someone else who would benefit from knowing these features, then make sure that you share it with them. This information is the kind of thing that can help take your documents and the way that you work with your productivity on a day-to-day basis to the next level, and we shouldn't keep it a secret. Until next time, thanks.